Chuck Schumer. The Senate Minority Leader, most powerful Democrat now in the country, is Senator Charles Schumer from New York. He's been there, I think, since 1823. And I used to kind of, I dropped my paper here. I used to, I don't know about like it, but I got along with him. But over the years, he's become a party apparatchik, which means no independent thinking on the part of the senator. Whatever the party says, he does. Now, Donald Trump did an extraordinary thing by winning the election. I think we'd all agree with that, even if you hate Trump. It was extraordinary that he won it because he had the Democratic Party with $1.5 billion. He had the legacy media. He had corporate chieftains all lined up against him, and he beat them all. In the process, Trump destroyed the leadership of the Democratic Party. Nancy Pelosi is finished. All right, she's 84. I grant you that, but she's done. And there isn't, if 4 years it was a time machine, who's going to be the nominee in 28? Who? There's no dominant Democrat. They're not going to bring back Kamala. She's going to run for governor of California. But there's nobody else. Now, there's some competent people, Governor Shapiro of Pennsylvania, the governor of Kentucky. They govern in a responsible way, but they're not household names. Nobody knows them. There's no leader. There's no populist leader. Nobody close to being as famous and infamous as Donald Trump. So now the Democratic Party doesn't know what to do, except hate Trump. They're all going to hate Trump, and they'll vote against everything Trump wants. I don't think there'll be any defectors. Like in the Republican Party, you get some people defect. You're not going to see that. So Schumer shows up on NBC News, Meet the Press, on Sunday, yesterday. I shouldn't say yesterday because this rolls, but last Sunday. And the woman there who runs a show is named Kristen Welker. You've seen her. She was in the debates and this and that. Liberal woman, but I'm kind of liking her a little bit more these days because I don't think she's a Kool-Aid drinker like MSNBC and these people. I think that she will ask questions that she feels are valid, even if they go out of her comfort zone. Could be wrong. I mean, certainly in the past, she's been very left-wing. But I'm seeing a little bit. Now, she confronts Schumer about the big con. What was the big con the last 4 years? The big con was that Biden was in control of himself, that he had the mental prowess to run the country. He didn't. And you're going to see that more and more and more and more and more. All right? And finally, as everybody knows, they dumped him. Democratic Party dumped him. They said, you're too out there now. You're not mentally up for it. You can't run, and Kamala will win, and Kamala didn't win, and Biden's mad, but Biden doesn't know what he's doing. So against that background, Schumer shows up on Meet the Press. Roll it.
Leader Schumer, what do you say to Americans who feel as though you and other top Democrats misled them about President Biden's mental acuity?
No. Look, we didn't. And let's look at President Biden. He's had an amazing record. The legislation we passed, one of the most significant groups of legislation since Lyndon Johnson's Great Society, putting in 235 judges, a record. And he's a patriot. He's a great guy. And when he stepped down, he did it on his own because he thought it was better not only for the Democratic Party, for America. We should all salute him. We should all salute him.
Well, that's simply not true. Now, you have to understand where Schumer's coming from. Schumer believes what he wants to believe. The facts don't matter to Schumer. Schumer wants to believe that President Biden stepped down on his own. But it's not close to being true, as we all know, because Jill Biden prevented Joe Biden from resigning after the debate, the disastrous debate. Now, Biden should have packed it in then. But he had to be threatened by Nancy Pelosi in a meeting in the White House. That meeting is well known. Schumer knows about that meeting. Pelosi went up there, and Pelosi doesn't deny it, and said, Mr. President, the Democratic Party is not going to support you at the convention. So you gotta get out of the race. Schumer knows that. Yet he tells the American people flat out, hey, let me just quote it, all right? When he stepped down, he did it on his own because he thought it was better, not only for the Democratic, but for America. That's not true. He didn't want to step down. He's still angry about stepping down. And he's acting out by giving George Soros the Medal of Freedom and a whole bunch of other stuff. So when you have a guy in charge, and Schumer is, of the Senate Democrats, and by extension, the most powerful Democrat, and he tells a blatant falsehood, and anybody in the news, everybody in the news business knows this. Now, Welker didn't follow up and destroy Schumer like I would have. Schumer says that to me, it's over for him. Lights out, Barney Frank. It's over. I go, what do you mean? Stop this. It wasn't any powerful Democrat that wanted Joe Biden to continue in that race. Maybe you, but I doubt it, because Pelosi had to run by you what she was going to do in the White House meeting. You had to know it. This is called fraud, you know? And it didn't get a lot of headlines. There was a little bit of outrage about what Schumer said, but it wasn't like his phone was ringing off the hook and people going, oh, come on, Chuck, you know, what are you doing? No, because it's politics as usual. Remember that cliche, politics as usual? We're going to say whatever we want because we know we're not going to be held accountable by the media. It used to be the media was aggressive, and the media would hold both parties to account for not telling the truth. Nixon was the best example of that. And he just tore them apart. So when I see stuff like this, I'm glad I have the YouTube channel to explain it top to bottom. Now, if any of you disagree with me, I like disagreement. Bill at BillO'Reilly.com. Name and town so we know you're a real person, but Bill at BillO'Reilly.com. And tell me where I'm going wrong or how I'm misleading you in my analysis. Because my analysis to me, and I don't believe what I want to believe. I don't do that. I believe what the facts dictate. So I'm a traditional American. I'm not a Republican. I'm an independent, and I'm not an ideologue. But there are certain things that I would like to see. I would like to see a responsible immigration law. I would like to see Americans protected from violent crime by harsh sentences given out to criminals. I would like to see all that. But I'm not going to shade it. I'm not going to misreport stories that surround that or ignore them. But Schumer, I mean, you know, and I am positive when Schumer walked out of that interview with Christian Welker, but he didn't say, oh, I just told a lie. I just fibbed. No. That's what he wants to believe in the moment. Oh, yeah, Joe's a patriot. Joe is the greatest president. How could he lose then, Senator? How could he possibly lose to a candidate as controversial as Donald Trump if he's the greatest president? How? It's impossible. He was terrible, Biden. He was awful, and Kamala was worse. Anyway, thank you for listening to this analysis. I'm Bill O'Reilly. We'll see you again soon. Thank you for watching. To view full episodes of the No Spin News anytime, sign up to become a BillO'Reilly.com premium or concierge member today.